Let's take a quick look at the types of mutual funds we have so that you can know the one that best suits your investment goals. So behind me, I've listed different types of mutual funds that we have. And starting with the very first one that says equity funds. So what exactly is equity fund? Equity fund, just like I mentioned in my previous video, that mutual funds is a pulling together of resources from different individuals, is handed over to a professional, and the professional puts it in different portfolios for you to ensure that you have a maximum yield for your interest. So for equities has to do with shares or stocks. So with this, what happens is that a larger percentage of this money that is contributed is put into shares or stocks, so that as the shares increases in price, your portfolio also increases. And for so many people that usually say that they don't know how to invest in stocks, they don't know how to invest in shares, that they are making losses. Once you invest in equity funds, then you have invested most of your funds in shares given to professionals to do for you and get your returns. So with this, it's actually a high risk investment because it depends on how well they are doing. So if they are doing well, you get a good return, and if they are not doing well, you also get a low return. So it's not a fixed return for equity funds. It depends on how best the company is doing, and but it's actually perfect for long term. The other one I have is money market fund. With money market fund, it's actually a low risk investment. The same way you invest in your federal government bonds, your treasury bills, your certificates of deposits, and commercial papers, is the same way you invest in money market fund. The only difference is that in this case, the money is pulled together, handed over to a professional, then the professional knows what to put it in. So the professional can either decide to lend it to the government, lend it to a big organization, or even lend it to the banks. So they lend it to those that will give maximum return on the investments, and in turn, you get your own interest from it. And with money market funds, you usually have about up to 21%. I'm using Stanbic IBTC as a case study because that's where I have my own investments. So with money market fund, you usually get up to 21% per annum. And to do this, you have to keep your investment for a minimum of 30 days before you can make withdrawal. It's a short-term investment, and it's also a low-risk investment. You don't get to lose your money. So another one I have is bond or fixed income. Bond or fixed income. This one is a low to medium risk investment. So this is also synonymous to the money market fund, but it's just that you have to hold for a longer period of time. We have the balance fund. The balance fund is a medium to high risk investment, and most of its funds is usually invested in equities as well, just like we have equity funds. It's a medium to high risk investment with a holding period of about 91 days, which means that if you invest in this portfolio, you let your investment stay for 91 days before you can withdraw it. And when I say medium to high risk, it means that the higher the risk, the higher your reward, and the lower the risk, the lower the reward. So we also have specialized funds. Specialized funds focuses on particular sectors. It could focus on oil and gas sector, infrastructure, and the likes. They only invest in a particular sector, and whatever yield comes from that sector is what those who make investments in this portfolio also get. We have the dollar fund. Now, the dollar fund is a moderate risk investment, and most of the fund pulled together is usually invested in euro bonds. It's also a moderate risk investment. This is particularly for those who would like their investment diversified in other currencies, particularly USD. So if you are the type that you're planning to travel, so with this, you know your investment is already in dollars, and it's to be able to wage against the dollar to naira fluctuations. We have the ethical fund also. This ethical fund is synonymous with the equity fund. It has about 60 to 70% of its investments also in equities, that's shares and stocks, and it has the remaining 30% in fixed income, that's in your treasury bills and other short-term securities. So it's actually a high risk investment because of the equity that is involved. It's a high risk investment. But if you know that you are the type that you like to invest in shares and you don't know how to pick the right shares, you could consider this. And the last one I have is the guaranteed fund. The guaranteed fund is a low to medium risk investment. It has most of its funds in bonds and the rest of it in treasury bills, and about 10% of it in equities, which makes it less risky to the likes of ethical bonds and equity bonds. Now, lest I forget, in when we talk about ethical bonds, the reason why it's ethical is because it doesn't invest in tobacco, alcohol, cigarettes, and those kind of things. It doesn't invest in anything that has to do with cycle. That's why it is actually ethical fund. So which of these mutual funds would you like to invest in? In my next video, I'm going to show you how to know which one best suits you in all of these mutual funds that has been mentioned. So see you in my next video and stay blessed.